There's a guilty pleasure in reading about daring heists. But we only ever see them in the movies. Now, for the first time ever, you will witness a gang of real criminal masterminds attempting to pull off the perfect crime. Lambourne, one of England's wealthiest regions, known for its champion racehorses. In these stables, some of the world's noblest thoroughbreds are kept, but only a precious few will become winners. Much hope rests on this £1 million prodigy. Lucky Harry is set to run his first race in 3 weeks' time, but little does he suspect that he will be betrayed by his closest friend, the stable boy. There's someone waiting at the fork in the road.
My name's the captain, it's Trigger, isn't it? Nice to meet you. Right,
We've arranged this meeting for a purpose. The stable boy will help the gang of master criminals kidnap Lucky Harry.
there's a bit of skullduggery went on there.
They will then try to extort money in return for the hostage. It's all set. Meet the masters of the underworld. This is Terry Smith, the man who sorts things out. He's a retired armed robber, and in the 80s he was England's most wanted man. He executed dozens of heists on security vans and did 15 years in prison. Today, he's a writer and is working on his second book. And here's Peter Scott. Inspired by the Hollywood movies, the gentleman thief stole more than £40 million worth of valuables from the rich and famous, including Sophia Loren's jewels and Zsa Zsa Gabor's diamonds. He was obsessed with glamour and beautiful women. But life's stranger than Hollywood. Arno Funke made primetime news in Germany 15 years ago. The Berlin Police Museum pays homage to his ingenuity by displaying his famous gadgets. These devices enabled him to pick up extorted money from the police without getting caught. Arno never hurt anyone and became as famous as a pop star. Matthew Bevan is the gang's computer wizard.
A dangerous friend.
As a teenager, he hacked into the Pentagon, NASA, NATO, as well as the Russian and Korean military. According to the Pentagon, he almost caused a nuclear war. He went on trial and was acquitted. And this is the boss, Joey Pyle. He's living a quiet life in South London as a manager in the music industry.
What? Kill him.
Joey's someone you don't argue with. He was once a serious gangster. He was a pal of the Cray and Nash brothers. At one point, he was on death row as a suspect in the murder of Manchester Jimmy.
No, he wasn't on death row. There's no such thing as death row in England.
It's the first day on the horse job. Joey calls together the gang to hear how Terry got on with the stable boy.
So I had a chat with him, and he seemed genuine. I quite like the fella. I think he's a goer, and I think what it is, he's going to give us the horse. We've got to go with our own.
When Terry tells the gang the plan, they have a gut feeling that stealing the horse will only be half the battle. They know that it will be down to Joey's negotiating skills to squeeze the biggest possible ransom out of the horse's owner.
Can he get hold of £500,000 just like that?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And if he can't, he won't have a fucking horse, will he?
Well, we'll have to...
Normally they don't know when you get the money. They're waiting around.
And then there's the even trickier problem of collecting that ransom without being caught. And that's down to Arno.
We're doing a robbery, and now we're doing an even more difficult thing. You're an expert in collecting money. You know how difficult it is. As we know, we didn't...
The so-called money drop is a moment when the criminal is most vulnerable, because he needs to come into direct contact with the police. That's why Arno's expertise as an extortionist will be crucial.
Oh no, we know that the police are everywhere. We know that.
Yeah.
We don't have to tell us that. We're telling you, how would you do it?
Sorry, you're Joe.
Whatever you do, you're never going to get out of the point of having law there. You're never going to get out of the point of having Elliot. They're going to do everything to have it around the scene where you drop the money off. They're all sitting there saying, right, now how can we catch these blokes on the drop-off?
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
That's what they're out to do.
Yeah.
Out to catch us on the drop-off.
Just down the road is the country house of stockbroker James Blackshaw. He's the owner of the racehorse that will be stolen and held to ransom.
Yeah, good boy.
His soft spot for animals makes him the perfect victim.
Good pig. He's a good pig. Sit, 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 sit.
Blackshaw has agreed to let us take his horse, but he doesn't quite realize what he let himself in for when he agreed to take on ruthless villains.
Yeah, lovely boys. Here we go.
That very night, the gang strikes. With their man on the inside, everything goes smoothly.
He's on his way now, mate.
Almost too smoothly. But there's a rough ride ahead. For the first time ever, a kidnap and ransom scenario will be seen from the inside. Lucky Harry has been brought here to the gang's hideout. The nearest neighbor lives 3 miles away. It's the perfect spot for someone who wants to remain undisturbed. The hostage feels safe with Joey Pyle's godson, Mitch, but he's not so sure about the others.
Hello, girls.
Fuck, you know, I'm going back inside now.
The time has come for a quiet word with Lucky Harry's owner.
(710-603).
Are you James Blackshaw?
Yes.
Right, well listen, James, we've got your fucking horse, all right? Now we want 500 grand for it. If you don't pay us, the horse is a goner. We put one straight in his head. We're serious people, which you will find out in the end.
Is Deb. Deb.
Even though Blackshaw was expecting this call, the harshness of Joey Pyle's threats comes as a shock. To help him in this crisis, we've recruited a crack team of police specialists.
Hi, Mr. Blackshaw?
Yes, indeed.
James Blackshaw?
Yes, indeed.
Hi, how do you do? I'm Clint Van Zandt. I'm here to help you get Harry back.
Oh, that's terrific.
There's a number of goals we have in this situation. The first is to get Harry back.
Yes.
Safe.
Alive. I'm well.
Alive, safe.
Yeah.
Number two is to...
Clint Van Zandt is the FBI's former chief hostage negotiator. Prison riots, hijacked airplanes, kidnappings in Colombia. He's seen it all. He'll play to win, like he always does.
And number four is to help the authorities identify this person or these people and get them in custody. The kidnappers will be seeking some type of immediate decision. What we want to do is draw this out. We want to make this somewhat painful for the kidnappers to extract money from you. This is a contest of wills. It's a contest of who's in charge. One scenario, I had an individual trying to hijack a plane in Washington, D.C. He wanted $1 million in the airplane. I talked him out of the airplane for a pack of cigarettes, okay?
Coming. Sorry, it's difficult. The bell's not working.
This is Dr. Peter French and his assistant Phil. They're speech experts who will analyze Joey's calls.
It's freezing cold out there, so.
We'll be looking for a variety of things. Firstly, I suppose, regional background, any clues to regional identity. Where are they from? Where's the accent from? Best scenario, of course, is a hybrid accent because that really pins people down.
There's Charles, is it?
John Olsen.
Oh, hello, how do you do?
Hi.
Do come in, Jimmy Blackshaw, how do you do? We've, as you can see, we've got gathered
That's all my stuff.
Yeah.
And your position, sir, is?
Forensic linguist.
Forensic linguist,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Basically, my interest is in the content. It's in comparing it with previous hijack texts, threat texts, ransom texts, even anonymous hate mail texts.
We represent, I think, the crisis management team that's trying to help Jimmy get his horse back. 5 heads are better than 1.
In the course of the next few days, these 5 men who have never met before will have to pool their expertise to beat their opponents. But these 5 men aren't going to back down easily. They are determined, but are they determined enough? In the barn at the criminals' hideout, the hostage maintains a healthy appetite.
And you see that film, they kill horses, don't they?
Meanwhile, animal rights are becoming an issue.
Can't kill a fucking horse. Well, I will kill the horse, even if it's for the TV programme or not, I'll shoot the fucking thing. Won't you?
Yeah.
I'll fucking will, yeah, why not?
Right, there's one thing to remember. This is a really sensitive speakerphone. All right, so anybody talking outside of Joey, it will be picked up.
Complete silence.
It's got to be complete silence.
Matthew has tampered with the phone lines so that the ransom calls can't be traced. Now the gang's hoping to get down to serious business with Blackshaw.
And we'll talk about it. All right, now it's going to ring. Go for it. What they're probably doing is they're trying to track this call, so...
Oh, yeah. Before it rings, what else, it?
Where's Clint? Clint?
Don't speak with Clint, I'll just leave it.
Do you want me to pick this up or not?
It's tough to handle a crisis if your chief negotiator is indisposed.
Just ask Clint whether I should pick it up. Just shout at him. He's in the bathroom upstairs.
They're going to try and try and try, but they can't do it.
No.
My God.
Yeah.
Stop ringing, do it again. That'll make him lock again, won't it?
Yeah.
When you talk to him, Joe, you better just make it plain. If any fucking about, then we ain't
Oh,
going
yeah, I'm telling you. As I said, you wish you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason it's just...
Well, that's a little more sinister, Joe. That's really not what we want.
Your account number and PIN.
My position is that I'm going to tell them I have to talk to Jimmy, and if they make a demand of money, if they make a demand on time, I mean, I'm basically saying if they want money like in the next hour or two, well, that's impossible. There's just no way. Okay, Phil?
Philippe?
Hello.
Hello, James?
No, my name is Clint. I'm here working and assisting James. Who's this?
I've got his horse.
You've got his horse?
Yeah.
Okay, what horse is this?
Lucky
He's got
Harry.
Lucky Harry.
Yep.
Okay.
You know we got it.
Well,
Spoke to James the other day.
Okay. Are you the same person who called James
Yes,
earlier
I
this
am,
morning?
Yeah.
Okay. What can I do for you?
Well, we want 500 grand for the horse.
No, well, wait a minute. How do I know that you actually have the horse?
Well, what proof do you want?
Well, my best case, scenario is that I need to see some type of picture.
I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's talk one thing over at a time, right?
No.
If
Yes,
you agree
okay.
on the money with me, and you agree to drop the money off,
Well, now wait.
On the conditions that I supply you with some sort of maybe a video camera.
Well, now, it has to be proof that we could verify. If you put yourself in my position, you would want to see that the horse is all right, number one. And number two, I can't promise you this money because I don't know how quick James could come up with that kind. That's a lot of money. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm. No, not for the horse. It's worth a lot more.
But where, if you've been out here, have you seen James's house? Do you know what it looks like and the grounds around it?
We'll sort that. I'll call you back on this, all right?
Well, when are you going to call me back? Let's set a time. Okay. Okay.
Okay, we've got 3 minutes 36 seconds on that, which is something to start with.
Hello, James. I've got his horse.
Phil loads Joey's call into special forensic software and cuts out Clint's voice. Joey's digitized voice is as unique as a fingerprint and can be used as evidence.
500 grand, you have yours. 500 grand, you have yours back. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's talk one thing over at a time, right?
French is listening carefully for anomalies that may betray Joey's identity.
On the conditions that I supply you with some...
Yeah, no, this is interesting. Let's have a look at it.
That I supply you with some of a...
Southern English, London, Essex, wherever, some, I supply you with some.
That I supply you with some...
And then he changes it when he repeats it.
Some.
Which is interesting. I mean, it could be a slip of the tongue. Could just be a slip of the tongue. But it's odd that you get that southern some followed by some. And a couple of other features. I mean, mainly southeastern...
Dr. French has been called the Sherlock Holmes of linguistics.
West end of Essex type sort of pronunciations.
By analysing each sound, he can diagnose the tiniest speech mutation with clinical precision.
I would say that about one adult man in 18 has it. But there are one or two things here that don't sit terribly easy, and it could be that, you know, it's somebody who's been around, or it's somebody who's been around other people, you know, the prison connection, possible prison connection that we're talking about, where he's been mixing with people from other accent groups.
With professional pride on the line, the rivalry is about to reach an unexpected intensity.
Just be firm and make sure you are the aggressive one and not him. And make sure you're the boss. Don't let him try and tell you what to do. You had to be that way, man. The minute you let him come on top and start telling you how to go about things, then you've lost it. You've lost the plot then. You've got to stop him, put him in his place. Hello, it's me again.
It's you again. Okay, yeah, we were talking and you cut me off.
Yeah, because you're trying to fuck about, you're trying to trace his school, mate. Now listen to me, right?
I'm sorry, you got to say it again. I lost what you said.
No more of your silly fucking questions. I'm telling you straight out right now, right? You want that horse back, right? We want 500 grand. I'll tell you where to drop the money off. About your video or the horse, that'll come afterwards. Now, I want you to agree on the money or say yes or say no.
We have to have proof that Harry is all right.
Listen, you won't have to drop that money off until I give you proof. I want proof on the amount. Say yes or say no. Now don't fuck about, because I'll tell you what, you want another sugar on your hands. Well, that's what
Jimmy
you're going to
does not have the
That's
ability
what you're going to have. You're going to have another sugar.
We don't have the ability to give you that money this second. We need to talk about the money and see how we can put it together.
Do you agree on giving us 500 grand for the horse once you know it's all well and sound?
First, let's make sure the horse is all right.
Do you agree on giving us 500 grand if the horse is safe and sound?
We agree the horse is valuable, and we agree we will do everything we can to raise money to get the horse back from you.
Well, think about it now. I'm finished talking.
Very well. All right. First class. Very good. That's you 30 years ago at your best. For real. No fucking about it. And if he doesn't get that message, he won't get any message.
Arno and Matthew need a breather.
Super chicken. Super chicken. Super chicken.
The two are drawn together because neither of them is used to working in a gang. Arno said little during the negotiations, but he was thinking a lot about his personal experience of pulling off this kind of crime.
I know how the police works. Also, they record what you say.
Incredibly, Arno knows exactly what is going on with the other side, down to the minutest detail. Gradually, insights from a long, serious criminal past are starting to surface.
What kind of accent? In some cases, the scientists can say, this guy is coming from this town, and a part of this town, maybe this street. Yeah.
Also, normally, it should be so many people involved in a crime. Yeah. If only one person know it, what you have done or what the secret is, nobody know it. If two persons know it, everybody know it.
Arno is speaking from experience. 15 years ago, as a criminal, he worked alone and told no one of his crimes, not even his wife. At the time, he placed small bombs in department stores in an effort to extort money. In his threat messages, he called himself Dagobert, the German name of the Disney character Uncle Scrooge. For years, Dagobert remained elusive. Soon, a massive investigation kicked in. With Germany's entire police force ready to pounce on him, collecting the extorted cash became increasingly dangerous. But Arno devised ingenious money drops. Like this one, using a remote control money bag that fell off a moving train. Another time, he ordered the police to put a suitcase with money into a sandbox that had a secret trap door. Arno escaped through this manhole into the sewer. Or his most notorious stunt. The police were ordered to put money in a small monorail device that Arno had placed on an abandoned train track. When the officers pressed a red button, the device shot off into the night. The police tried running after the cash, but there were tripwires everywhere. In the end, Arno's device derailed and the money drop was unsuccessful. The police tried everything to catch Dagobert, including broadcasting on national television this recording of his voice. But that only resulted in a band composing a rap song based on the threat text. His daring and ingenious money drops made Dagobert a folk hero. And this is Detective Delecki, the man who was determined to catch Dagobert. And this is the same man, after 2 frustrating years chasing a phantom. But on the 2nd of April 1994, Delecki announced that Dagobert had finally been caught. He'd been traced to a phone booth from which he'd made a ransom call. The police descended on the suspect's house, and that's when they learned Dagobert's true identity.
Follow me in the kitchen. Follow me in the kitchen.
Back on the phones, Clint and Joey are getting down to business.
We're working now. Now, I told you my name is Clint. Can I have a name to call you by so I know who I'm talking to? I'm sorry?
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Call you Jimmy?
Yes, that'll do, Clint.
Okay, Jimmy. Now, know, Jimmy, that we're putting our package together, and while we're doing that, as good faith on your part, we need to show there's a reason for us to put this together, which is the video of the horse.
We're doing that now, and I'm going to send that to you tomorrow.
All right, let me tell you my position on this. We've got about 125 at this point.
Well, that's nowhere near enough.
Now, just here... Well,
so
you know,
I'll leave it.
you've got to...
I'll phone you back
here, let me ask you a question.
Yes,
how is the horse at this time?
Pardon?
Can you tell me how the horse is at this time?
Yes, it's very well. It's got his 4 legs, and it's very well. And it's being fed regular. We're looking after it. We will not ill-treat the horse. Don't worry about that. Well, you tell the owner it's going to be 500 grand. Now,
Jimmy,
you'll get the
you
video
have to
tomorrow,
realize,
and then I'll speak to you.
You have to hear me, Jimmy. If
Yeah,
I'm going to help you, you have to hear me.
Yeah, go on.
You have to realize that we are getting as much money as we can together, but we have to have proof that the horse is okay.
Okay. Now, what I want to ask you...
As soon as we get that proof...
You know, all I know your name as is Clint. Well, who are you?
Clint is my name. That's...
Who are you?
Just like your name's Jimmy, right?
Yeah, but who are you? What do you do with the owner?
Are
you a policeman?
All I am is I'm a friend from the States. I met him. I met him through
you're a negotiator,
business ventures, and he asked me to help out. That's why I'm here.
A negotiator?
Oh, I'm a business. I do business. I don't do anything other than business talking.
All right. Okay. No more messing around. Once you get the video, 500 grand, and then we'll arrange for the drop-off. All right?
Clint, you'll get the
You
video
get the
tomorrow.
video to me, you get the video to us, and
You'll
then
get it.
I will tell you at that point how much money we've been able to put together.
Okay, you get it. All right, you get the video. See you then. Bye-bye. But don't do that when I'm talking on the fucking phone. It puts me right off. You keep sitting there going like... Come on, man, fucking... It's murder when you're doing that.
Well,
Isn't it? I'm
think
talking
it's-
on this. Let me ask you a question, can I? Have you ever done anything like this before?
No, I haven't.
Have you ever done any thieving before? Jobs?
No.
Worked? You're a computer man?
Yeah.
Well, how can you know what these people are doing?
I know language and I know the psychology of people like negotiators like this.
These people, I know what he's doing. Don't you think we know that he's trying to barter? We all know he's trying to get out of it. We know he's trying to give us less.
There's only one problem.
Are you shaking your head again like that? What did you mean by that?
I need to write something down for you.
What did you need to say, though? Tell me what you want to say now. Put the phone down.
Be interesting to know whether he's the dominant person among the gang, or whether he's just some peripheral person who's actually being put up to do the phone calls on the behalf of the others.
He sounds like an alpha animal to me, doesn't
Does
he?
he?
To you, yeah.
Yeah,
There's an alpha
yeah,
animal
yeah.
there. There's the lion of the pride. You know.
Yeah.
There's a bit of that.
Yeah.
Arno Funke is in London. He's looking for something. He needs to find the perfect place where he can pick up the ransom money and escape without being seen. But where is it? Arno's like an illusionist, looking for a stage on which to practice his dark art.
In the beginning, I make a plan. And after I finish the plan, I look to my plan from the other side, to the side of the police. If you are so impressed of your own plan, you think it will work, then you make also mistakes.
He needs to be confident that he can make a getaway when collecting the cash. He knows from his past experience that finding the ideal money drop location is tough.
Sometimes I was looking for 3 months for a good place. It's not easy. If it is easy, everyone do it.
Back at the hideout, the gang is preparing for the next move. Mitch gets Harry groomed and ready for the video that will serve as proof of life. At first, Harry is nervous to see his new friend wearing a mask. But then he plays along like a true pro.
I want to see that's Harry. That's him.
Now that Blackshaw can see his horse is alive and well, the contest can move into its final stage, with Clint pulling out all the tricks of the trade.
We've got a horse.
Now, as I told you before, we had 125. We've now got 147 together that we can account for. Now, that's a lot of money for a farmer to come up with, and you know that. It's a path that I want to take that criminal down, but I want him to think he's dragging me as opposed to me leading him. Jimmy, you've got to make a decision. You've got the horse. You're in control whether it lives or dies.
I make a decision to you now. I want the money, otherwise yours goes.
Jimmy, he is not capable of raising $500,000. I'll tell you that right up front.
Right, okay.
Truth is, he's a farmer. Jimmy,
All right, tell him that.
Jimmy, he's a
I'll
farmer.
talk to you
Most people have got a button you can push, and you can get them to do what you want them to do. They may not know that button's been pushed. They may not know that you've got a hold of the strings that are making them look this way, look that way.
That guy's a professional talker on the phone on behalf of the FBI.
I don't think he knows now. The way he said he couldn't give us no.
What he's kicked off, it's 125 grand.
Talking a load of nonsense to keep us on the phone longer, though. Talking about who's looking after the horse, all that nonsense.
Well, that's why we're back to the stable then.
Because now it looks like he's trying to track the call again.
I told you he wasn't going to give us 500 grand. I told you, the horse.
Well, we get a dead horse then, don't he, Pete?
Well, then he gets a dead horse.
These guys have probably never seen $250,000 in their life. And the week after next, 2 weeks from now, they'll start spending money. They'll be in a bar. They'll buy a car. They'll say something to someone who will pick up the phone, call the police, and say something. And you know what? They're all going to be in jail.
You're talking about me and Arnold. We're going to put ourselves right on the line here to go and pick this money up. And we could possibly get nicked for it. Possibly. And for 30 grand, I'd rather not do it. I would rather, we've got to get some more.
This is the big
If
problem.
you can't, if you won't
30
accept
grand
that more,
appears to be
that's
a lot of money to me. And Joe's in a Jaguar with a chauffeur, and I'm on a bicycle, and 30 grand. You can go a long way on a bicycle on 30 grand.
Now, would you think of 200? If I can get up to 200, can we close the deal for 200?
If you double that, I might think about it.
Jimmy, let me run something by you.
Yeah, well.
Okay? Now, let me run something by you and tell me what you think.
Yep.
You and I know this horse potentially is going to run in a race in another month that it could make, if it won, it could make $500,000. Would you consider, now listen to this, will you take 200 now and take 50 after the race is won?
What do you think? We're fucking from an asylum?
Now think about that.
No,
we can get
you're
you.
Crazy
You've got a choice.
No, you fucking silly.
They started laughing amongst themselves. Oh, are you stupid? Are you crazy? That's good because that makes them think they're winning. That makes them feel good about themselves. It's like, ha, this guy's silly. But when they did that, it closed the deal on the money, and it closed the deal on they're smarter than I am.
But it turns out that Joey is shrewder than Clint has anticipated.
Good idea. I'll ask
Do you
for
understand
250
what I'm
again,
saying?
and I'd like to bet you that he'll come back with half that. He'll say, all right, I'll cut it to 225. I'd like to bet on that.
Jimmy, let's talk about the amount. I've talked to James again, and we've talked back and forth about what he can put together and how quickly he can put it together. We can split that difference with you. We said 200, you said 250. We can get 225.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'll have to...
We can make it happen. Jimmy, you and I can make this happen for 225.
I'll tell you what I need to do. I need to speak to my colleagues over there, and I'll ring you back in 5 minutes.
Okay, tell them that's 225,000 cash in your hand.
Okay, let me talk to these people, right? I can make 5 minutes.
Cash in their hand. Tell them.
Right. Ring back, Nick. Right, so
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
I know we're
Yes.
going to say it. Listen, but I couldn't say yes to him on the phone like that
They had to see
straight
that in their
away.
minds. They had to picture money stacked up on
you
the
were
table.
right, and I was
You know,
wrong. I would've said 200 was
I've
the
got to say,
stinger.
I've got to talk to my colleagues, right? So now we're sitting around the table, all
Counting the money out,
225,
if they can
right?
visualize that.
Bang.
I think it's the better for them. It'll drive them to close the deal. I think they'll go for the 225.
Falling in love again.
Yeah.
Ironware, that's the one I like.
Whoop, my glass. Oh, that's all right.
Oh, Jimmy.
That's
It's like
out.
this. We'd like to meet you somewhere in...
Hello.
Hi, Clint, it's Jimmy, yeah? Yeah, that's agreed on.
Jimmy, you're a good horse trader.
Now, listen, what we're going to do, all in £50 notes, all right?
With the deal finally struck, Arno feels the mounting pressure to devise a plan for the money drop. But first he must continue his exhaustive search for the right location.
Tomorrow, the drop-off.
The London flower market looks promising. There's plenty of places to conceal secret gadgets. Perhaps the gang could even pose as flower merchants. But the more Arno looks around, the less he's convinced. He's worried there aren't enough exits to guarantee an escape. It's close, but not quite. Arno concludes that his approach must change radically. He decides to go below the surface of the city, into its bowels. Delving into the underground brings back memories for Arno. and not all of them are pleasant.
Every time I go to a money drop, for me it was like a nightmare.
So what drove Arno into this dark world? He was an extremely bright young man who found himself stuck in a series of mundane jobs. He remembers being depressed and feeling like a mouse in a wheel. One day, he was at his emotional breaking point.
I was laying in my bed and like to kill myself, to make suicide. I have the pistol in my hand. And then I realized if you do like that, if you kill yourself, what's happened? I was really, in that moment, I thought, so you are free. You can do any kind of things. Yeah, you don't to be care about what the people say, what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong.
Seemingly free from moral restraints, money drops became a sinister outlet for Arno's creative drive. But all of the torment and fear was in vain, and only once did he walk away with cash. In the end, he was doing it more for the game than for the gain. Arno is now back in his hotel room in Camden after a long, fruitless search for a safe money drop spot. Suddenly, his creative juices are flowing again. He's seen something from the window. The next day, Arno asks Terry to come along with him on a scouting mission.
It's not very wall here.
We don't. That's okay. It's the door we want to read.
Yeah.
As they explore the basement at the end of the canal, they immediately sense that they have struck gold.
Yeah. Cover the front of the door and put the hole in there. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there or over there.
But Arno, would we need to cover this door?
Yeah.
Cover so no one can come through.
Yeah.
The place is like a labyrinth. It's Arno's paradise. And just outside is a quiet stairwell in the heart of Camden Town. This is it, the spot Arno has been dreaming of. He immediately sits down and starts formulating a plan for the money drop. He wants to avoid coming into direct contact with the enemy when collecting the ransom. He's designing a special contraption that he hopes will fool the police like a magic trick. He's vowed that this device will eclipse all his previous gadgets in ingenuity. The gang have told Clint to bring a bag with £225,000 to Camden Town.
So carry. This is what it is. Saniel on the side of it, okay? Inside the money. This is what we don't want to lose, all right? Realize and think in your mind the various alternatives that the
Clint briefs plainclothes security men who will be ready to pounce when the money's picked up.
They could ride up on a motorbike. They could jump out of a cab and jump back in. There could be 2 or 3 of them that walk up with bags all in their hand. They switch.
And this is David, the bagman, who will be carrying the money. He's been ordered to go to a certain phone booth at 7:45 and await further instructions.
My biggest fear is that if they have a means to get away from you rapidly, we're going to lose them.
Sure, how are we going to communicate, you and me?
We're going to have...
While the plainclothes team creates a wide ring around the area, Clint gets into his mobile headquarters to coordinate the operation. He has stuck a secret miniature tracking device in the money bag and will monitor the cash via satellite.
Be advised that there's a red phone booth outside of the entrance to the underground. There's a good chance that's where the phone call will be received.
Inside this phone booth, Matthew has taped an untraceable mobile phone through which the gang will relay instructions to the bagman. Arno Funke has not gone on a money drop in over 10 years. Soon we will see if he can outwit the modern methods of law enforcement, the satellite surveillance systems that can pinpoint a human to a square meter. It's 7:45. Time for the bagman to pick up the mobile phone and receive instructions.
Hello?
Hello, Clint?
This is David.
Dave, are you on your own? Are you sure that you got the money with you?
I've got the money.
Okay, now I want you to do as I tell you.
Right.
And if you don't follow my instructions, I can tell you this much, that horse is fucking dead, alright?
Yeah, got you. Just want to hand over the money.
Now, what I want you to do, I want you to walk to the nearest traffic lights.
Yeah.
Right? And I want you to turn right into Chalk Farm Road.
Right onto Chalk Farm Road, yeah.
Then I want you to cross over to the Texaco garage.
Yeah.
For me again, alright? You've got 2 minutes to do that.
Righto. 2 minutes, Rog.
All around there are men watching, some of them in disguise. They're ready to move in instantly if a suspect appears.
Any call sign radio check, over.
Are you there? Right, now walk along the Chalk Farm Road, and I want you to go up to the Safeway garage on the other side of the road.
Right, I'm going under the bridge to the roundabout, turning left.
Every move David makes is being tracked by Clint's team.
Past the Texaco garage, walking down the road towards Safeway.
Okay, it begins. Clint to Ollie, stay on the person and stay on the bag. Over.
Come to the roundabout, chuck a left, walk past the Safeway bus stop at the main entrance of the supermarket. Now to your left, you'll see a big building. To your left.
Right, I'll need to look around and see that. I can't see that.
Now when you get there, you'll see there's a lot of satellite dishes. I want you to go to the top left-hand corner now of the car park. It's the HJ section of the car park itself, right? HJ section.
He's walking through the car park. I'm being told to walk towards a building with some aerials.
There's a building here with a big chimney on top of it. Now if you walk over towards there, then you'll see a large screen waste disposal bins.
Right, okay.
Now you should see some arrows going down the stairs. Yellow arrows.
Right, I've picked up the first arrow.
Now I want you to follow those arrows straight ahead to the stairs. Then I want you to go down the stairs.
Going down the stairs now.
Now you should see an X on the floor. Now stand on the X. Are you there now?
Right, I'm on the X.
Are you standing on the X?
Yep.
Well, look to your right, and then you'll see a metal box saying danger, high voltage.
Yep. Yep.
I want you to put the money inside there.
Right.
And I want you to push the latch back securely.
Right, done that.
Now walk back up the stairs and back across the car park.
On the way back up the stairs now.
And don't forget, I've got somebody watching you.
The drop was made in a metal box. David said there's only one way in and out to get the money now. So somebody's physically going to have to come to it. Ali, we've got indication that it's moving. Can you verify that? Over.
Ollie Declan, that's confirmed. It's a jet ski. They're pulling over.
They're on the canal for sure. We've got the bag moving north, Gloucester Avenue, between the railroad lines.
Ollie Declan, where's the support? I don't see the support team. Over. We're following the jet ski.
My problem is, it seems that the package was picked up and the surveillance team did not see it being picked up. Is that correct?
I'm under the bridge up the road.
The criminals discovered the satellite tracker and got away. But Clint had the last laugh. He had treated the money with a bank robbery spray. 8 hours later, the cash turned red.
Fucking hell, look.
Harry was returned to Blackshaw unscathed. 2 weeks later, he ran his first race. The gang had one last chance to get lucky with Harry.
Go on, Harry! Go on, Harry! Come on, son! Come on, son! Come on, son! Come on, Harry! Yes,
Places number 5, £2, and number 6, £1.60.
Well, to find out